Task Force Z issue 9, Matthew Rosenberg writing with Eddie Barrows on the art. So we're getting close to the end of this, right?
Yeah. Out of 12, right? Or is it 10? No.
Joe, it doesn't actually say in the cover out of
No.
anything anymore, but I'm sure it is actually still just a 12-issue miniseries. But
Yeah.
regardless, so last issue, Jason was fighting the Bat Family. I did think it made him look a bit too good when he was fighting every single Robin pretty much at the same time, and Cass. But Steph's here at the start of this issue to give him a warning, and she's not, she says that, I'm not just here as a friend, I'm here to give you a warning, and sends him on like the path to where some stuff from the Powers Company might be going down. But yeah, so this issue, it was kind of a bridging issue. There's a lot of setup in here. Stuff with Bloom. Kirk comes back to being human, more or less, as he puts it.
The fact that they're talking about James Manfield, right, and that and she famously died in a car accident where it was said she was decapitated. So the fact that that's who they're talking about, knowing that the last time we saw Kirk, Bloom was carrying his head around.
Yes.
It's
funny.
Pretty dark but funny. Zaz as one of the Task Force Z guys, I think is funny too. We see a young Derek Powers, which is big for Batman Beyond continuity, because he's the one that ends up being Terry's arch nemesis that first season. And he's the one that facilitates the Wayne Powers.
Yeah, it's Bloom that runs into him later on when he's sniffing around looking for files. And then, Dr. Powers is pissed that he's been doing that, obviously. And he says, I've been waiting to find you. I want to fill your head with all sorts of wisdom that I've accumulated.
He's like, what?
Yeah, so it's interesting ideas. Sure enough, when Task Force Z go to the Snyder ice rink, that. Now, I love them using the names of the creators for things, but they did use Snyder for a college in Batman not too long ago. Yeah. So I feel like we've used Snyder too close together here.
Yeah, although him having an ice rink instead of a college, I think it is a little bit more. That could literally be anything. But
now he's got both.
No, I know, but with the ice rink, it doesn't seem like when they do like the, Giordano Way, or the O'Neill Boulevard or whatever, the ice rink I think is a smaller. I can allow both in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could have went with anyone else, Just,
could be the Snyder ice rink at Snyder College, right?
I mean,
we don't know.
It sound like that, but I'll give it to you.
But we get a conundrum here with what's her name, Sundowner. They're trying to bring her in, which I think that was a cool showing what she can do, right?
Oh yeah,
we've seen it before.
She's lying there, just kind of like asleep, basically, and they try to bring her in, and she wakes up, and she goes like her powers kick in, and she basically goes into like a full demon mode. And it's probably the best couple of pages of the book, honestly. With her attacking, she's all got like, red streaks, and she's like a big monster, big teeth, all that stuff. She's got kind of she's got the long nails. She has kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not banshee, but like, that second page where you sort of see like the actual shape of her a bit better. She gives off this like raging monster vibe, and the rule is that she can't function in light. So it's a really simple rule to understand. They try and shoot a flare. That's not enough light though, because it goes away too quickly. Grundy grabs her, and he's got another flare. Like, well, the flare didn't work. KGB says like the flare didn't work last time, and Red Hood's like, no, shoot Grundy with the flare. And so the plan is to set Grundy on fire so that he's like a big candle, and that's enough light to like knock her out again.
So funny. Then also Grundy here, where he goes, Grundy burns, monster is woman, woman is dead again. For whatever reason, that made me laugh. I know it probably shouldn't have. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a really funny sort of dark idea. Like, we'll just set Grundy on fire and that'll like create enough light. But the logic makes sense, and it's how they win the fight. That sequence is my favorite in the issue by far. Is them dealing with Sundowner.
Yeah.
So when they get out, they get confronted by some police forces, and Red Hood has to sort of do overtime to make sure no one kills anyone.
Yeah.
Although it is worth mentioning, Bane runs off during all this. He has like a moment where he starts freaking out and just runs away. Meanwhile, Two-Face starts renting the old warehouse that they fought Mr. Freeze at. He's now, because that turns out Black Mask owns that warehouse and was renting it to Mr. Freeze, and is now going to rent it to Two-Face as a new headquarters for Task Force Z. So Red Hood's not very happy about this. Gets in Black Mask's face, and then Zaz goes after Black Mask, and basically they get him to lower the price of the place because they threaten to kill him heavily if not.
That scene made me laugh too, with him like out loud, just because it where he says, "I'd rather have him eat me, than take the cheap price," and he goes, "All right, that works." He goes, "No, fine, whatever you want." That's the best use of Black Mask, I feel.
Yeah. So the end of the issue is that they realize, the scientists, twins or clones or whatever they are, they realize that Sundowner has some Lazarus resin in her body still, and they can maybe take it out and feed it to everyone else, so they've got another couple of days of having the squad. So the end of the issue is pretty much them doing this and fueling everyone else with Lazarus resin. And then the other cliffhanger is that Bane shows up at the lab where Bloom and Powers are, and Bloom somehow is up to something here, and is apparently given Bane some venom and has got him under his control now.
Yeah.
So, there's some worries here. Who knows what he's up to. Also, I've just realised this is that Kirk is eating in every scene he's in, pretty much in this issue.
He pulls a Brad Pitt.
Yeah. He's got a sandwich in every scene. So, for some reason, it's vaguely amusing. I'll say that.
Yep.
So.
Also, Bloom, just Rosenberg's voice for Bloom kills me too, because he's just like this scheming fast talker. Right? Because he's talking about the restricted files, and he goes, "I've seen those before." Well, you shouldn't have. That's probably true. And then you go down, he's talking about he wants to get a name tag to make it official that he works for Powers, and just that type of stuff. But I want to know what's up with the venom. Did he give him actual venom? Did he give him a more concentrated dose? And when? Or is this one of Bloom's seeds? Right? Did he implant him in there? So yeah, I love how much of a wild card Bloom is.
Yeah.
Throughout this book.
Yeah, it's still a little bit up in there is actually what he's up to, but he's obviously got a lot of plans, and he's been kind of scheming ever since issue 2 or 3. So, fascinating to see. I was glad to see Eddie Barrows back in the art because he wasn't on last issue. No. We had a fill-in artist.
Yeah.
So, he wasn't a terrible artist by any means, but it's just nice to have Barrows back.
Nice fill-in. Yeah. Also, it just tells me too that when they killed Man-Bat to set this up, and then Bane, it feels like by the end of this, I do feel like we'll get some of these villains back, right?
Yeah,
just seeing how Bloom brought Kirk back from just a head, So I think that's pretty cool. I like when they can do stuff like that in a story.
Yeah, maybe he brings more of them back, because he's probably going to bring Bane back properly, and maybe some of the others, and maybe they're all going to be somewhat loyal to him because he brought them all back to life properly. And then,
because it doesn't seem that Kirk needs the resin, right? Like the other ones do.
I mean, they could tell us otherwise next issue, but it doesn't seem like it yet,
Yeah. So, and then who knows with how the Venom's reacting, but yeah, Bane looks like a proper monster at the end here, And also, is he hovering? Did they bring him in via helicopter? What's he doing?
It's a good question. Let me have a look. There's I don't know if that's a parachute behind him that's been sort of
That's the net that they try to capture him with the task force. So right before he ran off. So him just kind of floating there is weird.
It does look like he's floating. I wonder if he's just dropping from that though, rather than
right. Yeah. So I said, did they bring him in by helicopter? And he just came in. But
I mean, it says next time, guys, seriously, what's up with Bane? So I'm assuming we're going to get answers to what's going on with Bane.
What
next
is up
issue.
with Bane? That is a great question, Rosenberg.
Yeah. Very curious to see how they wrap all that up. All right, what are you giving Task Force Z issue 9?
I'm gonna go 7.5.
Yeah, let's go straight 7. It was good. Yeah, I had fun.